You talked a little bit about how you can start companies now for far less than you would have been able to before. And so can you talk about how that's changing the VC market as a whole?
With these web companies, there are lots of smart entrepreneurs, young and old, that say, I can build a service that will be compelling to the online consumer in some way. Look at a Facebook or a MySpace. People sat down and built a service that was relatively simple. I mean, at the outset, was relatively simple. It took some number of thousands of dollars, but it didn't take millions of dollars to create something that the end user said, "Hey, this is great. I really like it." Right? And you tell your friends, and they tell their friends, and suddenly the growth curve of your company is something like this. Right? What has happened is that it's taken a small amount of money to get to demonstrate that there's interest and value. If you invest here before you know there's interest and value, it's very risky. The likelihood that you find the company that's going to grow exponentially and be exciting is really low. If you invest here where you know that the company's growing like crazy and really interesting, it's going to be very expensive, because the truth is that lots of the risk in that company have been driven out by user adoption and then likely interest by advertisers or revenue. So the challenge that venture investors are having is, do they chase the early things and try and invest super early and see if it works out, or do they wait for it to demonstrate that it's working and then invest in the ones that are working? And the problem there is twofold. One, there are a small number of them relative to the number that are started, and there's evidence that it's working, and therefore the valuation of that company goes up. So those are kind of the dynamics of the market right now, at least in consumer web property.